are live. We are live. All right. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's try this one more time.
All right. Yes.
Tell you time 20 minutes.
Yes. All right.
An hour. That's it, right?
Yep. That's all we got now.
That's all we got.
That's all you guys get.
That's all. No more than that.
So, do you want to introduce
No, you go ahead.
me? All right. Cool,
You got
cool,
this,
cool.
dude.
What's going on, guys? My name is Hector. This is our second official episode of the Green Tea Podcast. Okay, I'm one of your hosts. I'm Hector. It's Brian.
Brian here.
And basically, one of the topics that we're going to talk about today is navigating through your adulthood life. Adulthood life.
Yeah, that's
Right?
correct. Yeah, adulthood life.
Yeah.
It's very complicated.
So basically, we do only have an hour, so we both are going to share our stories. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. So
Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and share like our most, like maybe like highlights, right? Like pivotal moments in our life that we thought were important, right? So we're starting, from as young as, we thought our first pivotal moment was until, now we're 30 now. So
Yep.
So we can share some good perspective then, okay? So,
Let's get started.
all right. So, me, how can I even start this? So, I know I didn't want to go to college, right? Coming out of high school, I didn't want to go to college, but I still ended up going to college, right? Just to have the degree, just something to fall back on. So, starting off, I'll start off with maybe graduating high school, right? So once I was graduating high school, I was in the field. I was having those butterfly feelings in my stomach, like all right, here we go. We're gonna jump into the real world, and then we did, right? I didn't want to go to college. I knew I didn't want to go to college. There was an alternative option for us students that didn't want to go to college to do. It's like a side program, right?
Okay.
So the side program focused on, labor workforce for the entertainment industry, with stage setup, right? So we were in charge of setting up stages. So I did that for a little bit. That was one of the most paying jobs I had at the time. Straight out of high school, that was a pretty high paying job. I was getting $1,000 a week, right?
Okay.
So to me, that was pretty cool, But I had to drop out of. It was extremely competitive to get there.
But how competitive? Like
There was kids from other schools, right? So this option was offered by a program through the school that just in case you didn't want to go to college, you can use this. I'm like, all right, cool, I did that. It was competitive because other kids from other schools wanted the positions, so we had to go through, get certificates and all that, and we did exactly that. And I wasted basically my whole senior year getting certificates, and also my summer, right? Once I was already working though, and I was getting that much money, $1,000 a week, I had to drop it just because of it wasn't gonna give me a school degree.
But for us to like get a perspective of like $1,000 was and what year?
Oh yeah, so that was actually back in 2011. Actually, 2011.
So you're saying that you were you were 17, 18?
Yes, 17, 18, getting like $1,000 a week
With no responsibilities.
Right, I didn't, no responsibilities.
Jesus.
It's one of those things where it's like, I thought, unfortunately, I had to drop it because my parents didn't see a future in it, right?
Okay.
And back then, I disagreed. Back then, I was like, I'm making more money than you guys, right? I had a little ego there. But looking now, it's obviously it's obvious to me that they were just looking out for me and they just wanted me to be set up properly for the future. That's
Yeah,
it, right?
they
They
were
don't
looking-
want to see me stuck there and be like, oh yeah, just the money. It's like no, like get some education, like do something. I'm like, all right, cool. I see that now. Before I really didn't see that, but now. So yeah, so then fast forward, we go ahead and I had to drop that and now I had to go to school. I had to pick something that I really wanted to do, which was film, right?
So film. When you say film, it's something that you did. I know you mentioned that off camera. You mentioned that film was one of the things that you used to like to do.
Oh, right. No, yeah, absolutely. So if you know me, you know that I've been doing film since like sophomore year of high school. And by film,
Wow.
I don't mean actually film, right? People don't get technical. I mean like, videos, videography, like, that under that umbrella. So then, yeah, I chose something that I really wanted to do, and that's something that I really enjoyed doing. So I chose that
Okay.
to double down on that and like expand my skills. And it was great. It was a great experience. And met a lot of great people. Did a lot of great friendships, and yeah. So at that point, I still don't know, mind you, throughout this journey, and I really had to really fast forward this for you guys, but throughout this journey, I still don't know what I want to do, right? I'm still figuring things out.
Even while you were still going to college.
Yeah,
Even
of course.
even if you were doing what you wanted to do, you were still trying to figure out what to do with your life, right?
Exactly, 100%. Like I still was trying to figure out what I was going to do. I was content with what I was doing at the time, and I was very present, for it, and I enjoyed every second of it. It had its challenges, but I did enjoy it, and it was a good journey. It was a good journey.
That's a good journey. I mean, that's
So-
good. I mean, if you got to enjoy it, if you got to enjoy it, it's fine. I mean, at least there's something that you went for school for something that you like. But my question now,
Right.
that you ended up using your degree after you
So
graduated?
it's one of those things like, okay, I haven't like my degree is there, right?
Okay.
And every situation is totally different, right?
Okay.
So there's the crowd that have a degree, didn't put it to use. There's a crowd that didn't need one and are not successful, and there's a crowd that have a degree and are putting it to use, right? So,
Okay.
so to me, film it's something that it's just gonna always be with me. It's gonna be part of my journey. It's
Okay.
my hobby. It's something for fun that I like to do. So, anyways, I go and what was I saying?
So yeah, for right after college, what do you do after? What was your struggle right after college that you were
So
mentioning?
right after college,
Mm-hmm.
I went ahead. Okay, cool. So right after college, what I did, I went to work for a fast food restaurant, Chipotle,
Okay.
and that's basically where we met.
Yeah, that's what we meant. Yeah,
so,
definitely.
So then, I decided to, I already had my degree. I was young at the time. I was at that point, 22.
Yes.
And, and I thought about, what, I can take the risks. I've heard some successful stories, between some colleagues that did work there at that place, and I saw that, and I kind of wanted to be part of that success, and yeah, it was a cool experience. I was there for 5 years, and even though it was a cool experience, and I really thought it was gonna be something like, as far as a career, I was gonna really take it as a career. You know what they say: you make plans, God laughs. Not to get religious here, but
Yeah.
I worked there for 4 years, and I learned a lot, and it was an amazing experience, and I wouldn't regret it. And at that point, when I left, I was like maybe 25 or
Yeah, I think it was
25, 26.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, and then at that point, I still didn't know what I was gonna do with my life. right? I was still in this mess of just like, trying to figure things out. You know, mind you, credit score for me was not good. Credit card debt was there, and it was, the point of me sharing all this, it's basically to relate to people, right? To relate to people not to feel alone, that they're, that they're the only ones in that position. It's just like, nah, like I understand if you are. There are people that are ignorant and don't understand, and they're like, oh, this is easy, or like, they had resources, or they maybe, like to say, call names and things like that, but it's you gotta show some empathy with people.
And no, it's like you said that not everyone has the same resources.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Not everyone has the same resources.
There's no high school right now that's showing how to financial literacy. So it's okay.
Right.
Everyone, we all went through that.
Right. Right. So then, boom, navigating through my adulthood life, working at Chipotle. It was a great experience. Then left there to work at a very similar place for about a year. I realized then I know that I didn't want to do that, right? So no, that's just as important as figuring things out, right? Because now I know that I don't want to be in that space. I'm like, all right, I need to remove myself from this space and go to something else. I got fired from that place.
Hold on, but what made you not be you wanting to be in that place anymore?
Just knowing the fact that, if you once you like something, you like it. Like me, I like videos. I knew I liked it, right? Something just kept pulling me back to that, right? Regardless of whatever challenges I was facing. With this, with the food, with the restaurant, the food industry that I was working with, even with the challenges, right? It takes a toll on you, and you start to, if you enjoy it, you will gladly accept those challenges. If you don't enjoy, then you will feel like you just want something else. Like, I don't know, my vision just changed.
Feel like misery.
It's just like, what, like, the reason why I was there in the first place is because of the money. I was chasing the money. Right, so as that was me chasing the money, like I ended up in a place that made me unhappy, and the money was no more a factor of my decision making. So I was just like, all right, cool, this is not it anymore. I got fired, and when that happened, it just felt like a big relief. And I gladly did that. I walked out, and then I just started, I did some Ubering for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yes, we did some Ubering
We did
together,
that together,
actually.
yeah, I remember
So
those
you
days.
doing Uber, we're on the phone and just like hustling, and then as I'm, doing that, right, I'm setting up goals, right. I'm setting up goals on just like, let's say for example, okay, I'm gonna make $100 a day, right. When I make $100, I'm gonna make sure that I pay my cards. Right, and I'm gonna make sure that I do that until my cards are paid off, right? And then just making plans, right, to just like trying to level things up, right, and keeping a positive attitude, right? So
one thing that I want to share is that I remember those days because you were so focused into getting out of that. You were like, "Yo, I'm tired. I'm gonna make sure that I get out of that." And I used to remember, I used to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to be in the street, but for 3:30 to 4.
go to the airport.
Yeah, like do our rounds and stuff like that. I remember those times, and you were just so focused that, it paid off.
Yeah, we were focused.
Yeah,
we were focused, man. So basically, we did that, and at the time, it also took a really hard toll on my life, and my love life, and my my living space, and it really just shook me up, and that was one of the moments that I had where, like, even more clearly, like, okay, what the fuck do I need to do? What is it that I like? Like, I need to figure this shit out, man. I need to touch ground. I need to get grounded. I need to, what is going on? Like, what am I gonna do? So then, I got lucky, and I found a company that I work for now, and it's an amazing company, and also you whatever. It's an amazing company.
yeah. What it made you like realize how you went from those challenges to make you realize that, okay, I need to get my shit together, right? And to be positive to get your shit together. Like, what made you
Espérate. Okay, so let's bring it back from. Hold on. How much time do we have?
16 minutes.
Huh?
16.
1-6.
Like on me, on like
Yeah,
my on my
you
25
already
minutes.
spent 16 minutes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. So, one, two, okay. So, then I stopped working for. I was Ubering for a little bit, and I got lucky, and then I was able to work for the company that I work for now.
Okay.
Right. So, and you know what? And it's still that question of just like, okay, what am I gonna do? Right. Like you still, even though I'm already, have a good job, have a good. I feel like I have a good side hustle, right? Something that's fun for me, like videography, right? Um, I feel like sometimes we wanna, and also I'm 30. You
Yeah.
know, the factor and the fact that I spent my almost my whole 20s chasing the money and answers, and now I got to 30, and I'm just like, wait, hold up. I didn't even, not even 30. I got to 28, somewhere around there. Now it's just like I pumped the brakes so hard. I was like, hold on. My 20s are going by. Where what am I doing? Like, what am I chasing here? I'm not even living,
Yeah.
because I'm chasing after something, and that's cool and all. Like, chase after your goals. That's not
That's not the.
please, yeah,
Mhm.
that's not for the bait, but also enjoy the moments, be present, and that's one of the biggest things that I've realized when being on my late 20s, and me being 30 now, right? Like I've learned that being present is so important. Mind, mind over matter,
Yeah.
right? It's so important. Awareness and have fun, and I think that realizing those things,
Mhm.
have helped me. Don't beat yourself up either. Don't say like, oh, what if, just if I would have done that and this. Don't do any of that. Just like be present. You can you can pivot now. You can
Yeah.
change now. You can act now. Whatever you do now is what determines what you're going to be in the future, whatever. So be
And
patient with yourself.
exactly. Be
Yeah.
patient. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
like when you want to change, make
Yeah.
a change.
Yeah.
You could always make a change.
Show empathy.
Yeah.
And be kind, right? So all these nice things, and relax, and you have time, and be calm. Work on your mind, on your mindset, your attitude, positive,
But
right?
it
Work
also,
on that.
but it's also, if you're surrounded and if you're not surrounded by positive people,
Right, right.
that also could take a toll on you, and it's
Yeah.
hard for you to pivot and do all these things and keep a positive mentality or a passive attitude, positive attitude.
It's even better for you to be alone, than to be around the wrong
Crowd.
crowd.
Do you
Yeah.
think that now that you're looking back at the things that you did, what's the worth it chasing the money?
Oh, of course, I think so, because it has wired my brain differently.
Okay.
Like I don't regret any decision I've made, just because it has just like wired my brain the way it's wired now, and I don't think I'll change any. I like to change anything, or, I think I just because I've done all that work, I just understand the value of time.
Yeah.
Time is more valuable than money.
That is 100%.
So it's just like if I looked back, I'm like, wait, my 20s are gone after this. I have to find out a way how to reverse that. How can I like work much less and get more money, more
exactly.
cash, right? So it's just like figure things out like that, right? Like that's a puzzle in life for me to figure out until I die.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's like there's no rush, there's no time clock, there's none of that, right?
No.
It's I like to have fun in life, and that's one of the ways that I like to have fun with. Like, I've always had this weird relationship with money, man. To be honest with you, I've always had a weird relationship with money. It's always been there.
Yeah.
And it's like Medusa, man. it's like now I'm at the point like I don't care about money. I'm not attached to money at
Okay.
all. But I do like the fact that the things that you can do with the freedom that it provides.
Okay.
Right? So that's what I'm attracted to, the freedom. Because if you're free, then if you have that type of freedom, then you're able to live.
Yeah, you have
You
be
know,
able to
just
have
live,
time to
live.
have time for yourself
Yeah.
and for the things that you love
Look
to do.
at the
Yeah.
world, take your family,
Mhm.
like do those kind of things, and that's what I'm attracted to. So it's not the money that I don't give a shit about money. I really don't. But I'm also having fun figuring things out. So
Okay.
that's my story, and some
Dude.
struggles in there that I didn't mention. But that's my story.
That's your story. No, I mean, it's pretty cool. And then, but what do you learn about like now that you're 30? What's your
Oh,
What do you learn?
like I said, just being, showing empathy to yourself. Slow it down. Look at yourself, right? Look at the person in the mirror. Before you judge others, judge yourself. Be nice to others. And do different things. Try different things. If you don't like reading, pick up a book and read. If you don't
That's
like
true.
if you don't things that you don't like, you have try them. Try if you don't like them and you haven't tried them.
You can't say you don't
Try it.
like them if you don't
Yeah.
haven't tried them.
Yeah, or maybe because just as you are growing, your mind changes, it develops differently. Like I'm gonna give you an example. I was not a big reader. I was not a big reader, and now I'm 30 and I feel like sometimes I get shy away when it's time for me to read on public or with people, and I hated that feeling. So I was just like, yo, how can I tackle this? And I was just like, duh, by fucking reading. So
Yeah.
then I'm just like, yo, so you know what? I went to the library, picked up like 4 books that are interested. I'm like, all right, I have these 4 books to read. Start reading. And then I just did. And now I'm on my second book. I still have to finish it, but now I'm reading and I actually enjoy it and actually take the time to, take the book, go to the park, like take some time to like sit down
Yeah.
and face the sun or something and read, and it's so nice. And it's just like, okay, I didn't know I was going to really enjoy that if I didn't, give it the chance. So
Yeah.
so I'll tell, I advise people to do that. Try different things and
I
do
agree
different
with
things.
you. I agree. I totally agree with you when it
Keep your
comes to
day
that.
random.
Yeah, I agree with you because a lot of times we don't like something, but we haven't not tried it yet. But then if we force ourselves to do those things, I believe that, like you said, we create a habit, and that's what you created. You created a habit now that you picked up a book, you go to the park, you chill and read. That's like your you time. You know what I'm saying? Like my me time, that's your time for you to relax and also reading also expands your knowledge.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
But it was nice hearing your struggle and you know how you come back through your adulthood and through certain things that you did.
I
through
definitely,
adulthood.
I definitely feel like I'm still learning. Like I definitely,
Definitely.
feel like feel like life has it just finds ways to humble you, and it's just sometimes it is amazing to just witness and
To
see.
witness.
Yeah, just cool.
And
How
I'm gonna
about
tell you
man?
something. Even to this day, we still learning. Even to this day, you're
Yeah.
still in the struggle of like, what am I going? What do I really want to do, or what do I really want to fit myself? And you always constantly like trying new things. But that's the thing. If you don't try new things, if you don't get out of your comfort zone, you will not. That's for sure. You will not grow as a person.
Yeah.
In every aspect, you won't.
true.
So it's good for you to get out of your bubble and explore something new. That's what I try to do. I try to do all the time. I try to put myself, I want to say, on a pickle,
Okay.
uncomfortable situations where I know that I'm uncomfortable, but I have to pull from the ground. I don't know, from somewhere to make it happen. So I like to put myself in those situations because I feel like it's gonna open me up to be, to grow as a person and learn more about my abilities and what can I do,
Yeah.
as a person. So yeah.
What about you? How have you been able to handle the struggles, like, or your adulthood life?
Well, through my adulthood life, yeah. I mean, it's it kind of everyone has a different journey, right? And I seriously had some struggles as well, where I want to, just when I got out of high school, I used to work at doing HVAC, HVAC. I went to a high school where they have like shops, and I wanted to become a doctor. That was my passion. I wanted to be a surgeon, but I applied to that high school, and in that high school you couldn't I couldn't got in because of the medical field was already full. So they put me into construction. So there I learned a lot of things about construction, and then that's where my life was basically going to. I was
Nice.
going to become a HVAC technician. So but during
Sure,
that
learned
time,
a lot of good skills.
yeah, a lot of good
Like,
skills. Yeah, and
Real
they make
world-
good money.
real
That's one
world
of the things I
skills.
want to say. They do make good money. It's a good field to be in, but it's like everything else. If you don't see yourself 5 years, 10 years from now in that position or growing in within that field, then just don't do it. Right. So that's what happened to me. I didn't see myself doing that. So I remember that my mom, once I graduated high school, my mom said, "Okay, you have to go. Let's go to that to this it was in college, but it was vocational school, right? Where you learn like how to do like plumbing or whatever." And I was going for HVAC, and I remember going there and thinking to myself, "Ryan, do you really want to do this?" And at that day, I remember that we were sitting at a table, ready to sign. The school was like $20,000 that we needed to pay.
Okay.
And it's still at that moment, I didn't know what I wanted. Do I really want to be, do
Yeah.
I really want to do this or not?
Yeah.
That was a big question.
Yeah.
So since I didn't know,
How old were you?
I want to say 18.
18.
18, yeah.
Okay.
I still was confused, You're 18, you're still confused. So I remember I was the last one that needed to sign the documents, and I just got up and said to my mom, "No, I can't do it. I can't do it, and I won't sign." So I got up and left the room.
And you were the one who got them there.
Yeah, and I was
You
the
was
one who
got them there,
yes.
and then towards the end, you were like, "Actually,
exactly.
I changed my mind."
Yes, I even went before doing that. They give you like a tour of the place, so you could kind of like see what you're gonna get yourself into, the press and stuff like that. So I did all that. I did all the research. But at that moment when I was about to sign, I asked that question: do I see myself and doing that for more than what? More than 5-10 years. So I didn't. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me leave.
Yeah.
So I remember during that time, I started working at a fast food restaurant too. Because you're still thinking, what do you want to do, right? So I decided I want to go back to college. Not back to college, but I want to get into college. And I wanted to go into the college that I decided to. I was a community college at that time. And during the time, I needed to find a job. And during finding the job, I found a job at a fast food restaurant. And in this restaurant, my brother was working there, and a couple of his friends. And then, they hired me. It was good. I saw how people there inspire me because there were people younger, or not younger, I would say a little older than me, like 3 years older than me, already making good money. Right. So and they show that you could build a career here. So it's like the culture itself. I fell in love with it. So I started putting more, like I said, putting more of my attention into Chipotle.
Right. I felt the same exact way.
Yeah.
Like, when I started working there with you guys, I felt the same exact way. Like, it's just a group of, it felt like you're within a group of leaders.
Yeah, like
young leaders.
and it was just
that
like
cool.
so inspiring because it's
Yeah.
like I don't know what it was, but it was like I was rubbing off with good people with good characters. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it felt good to be part of something.
It was genuinely everybody wanted to grow.
Yes.
Genuinely everybody wanted
That
to
is
grow
correct.
and wanted to be better. They didn't, even though it was a fast food, everybody
Yeah.
treated it very serious.
Very serious. And I made really good friends.
Yeah.
Working there. I made fantastic friends that even to this day I still communicate with them, even though that we don't talk on the phone every day, but if we see each other in the street or if we send each other a text message during, the holidays and stuff like that, they'll be like, hey, I'm here, And
you get free food at Chipotle?
yeah, I got my people. Still got my people, man. I get my free food, but like I was saying, so I started at that time. I started struggling with deciding either what do I want, make more money, or get an education, and then later on make more money. But you know how we are as human beings. When we're young, we want things now. We want that fast money. We want that cash. Give me that cash now. So I saw that. I went for the cash. So I started, just going to college. I remember community college, one class per semester, and focusing all my energy into Chipotle. And I went to the ranks. I became general manager.
Yes.
But during those times, that's when I met you when we opened a new store, and they made me like a apprentice at that time.
Right.
I was 22 years old.
Right.
And like 22, 23, I got to say. Something like that.
22,
22, right?
Yeah, 22, 23.
And for a 22-year-old, to me, it was a lot of money, making $47,000 to $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, whoa. Mind you, I do pay rent. I do have certain responsibility, but not like a full responsibility where I have like a child or I have a house or stuff like that.
Right.
So it felt good to have that, and I feel that the people there, the people that I work with, they were genuine. They were, they, even though I was their manager, they felt like I was leading them in a good way where I was working at Chipotle.
Yeah.
Because I remember I don't know if you remember when they decided to give me the store.
Right.
In New York.
Right.
And then I asked you, hey, Hector, do you want to come and join me?
Yeah.
And you said, hey, dude,
I was down.
let's go.
Yeah, I was down.
And you were my right hand in that store. I remember you were my apprentice.
Yeah.
And then when we went there, was also some challenges. But during that time, I remember I was putting so much effort into Chipotle that I was losing myself, which I really wanted was to get an education, to go through the college system. I'd really like to learn. And I'm not saying that college it's the only way to get an education, but for me, it was important to do that. I just got lost on chasing the money first. Then waiting, being patient, and doing the things that I needed to do, that later on, that money will come to me.
Right. A lot of people do get lost on the chase of the
Exactly. So I was lost. I got lost in the journey. I got lost, trying to make it, basically. And during that time, I got kicked out. Not kicked out, but I got a warning from a community college. That was the most embarrassing. I never said this to anyone, not even my wife. This is the first time she knows, she's hearing this. But through a community college, dude, I got a warning saying, listen, you put your act together or you getting kicked out. And in that moment, I was like, oh, I gotta get back to college. And that's what I did. That's why all of a sudden, too, I realized that Chipotle, the fast food restaurant, that I didn't want to do. Because the same way that those people that I work with, that once inspire me to get into this journey of being, working there, were the same very people that uninspire me, if that makes sense, right? Like, I didn't want to be there anymore because I used to see them that they want to have, wanted to change scenery. They want to make a change, but they couldn't because they were already too deep into, having certain responsibilities that didn't allow them to move, to do something else.
So they couldn't, they it's almost like not having the wiggle room for them to take a risk.
Yes.
Because of the responsibilities that they have outside of work that they have to fulfill.
Exactly.
And like work gives them that money, that security.
Yeah, because they were making pretty good money.
Yeah, it is. It was. Yeah.
So it's hard for you to leave a job, a six-figure
Yeah,
job, to
especially
start.
when you have all these responsibilities that you have to take care
Exactly,
of. Yeah.
and
You
that
have
is
a list.
understandable. I'm not here to blame on anyone. It's just that you know, it's understandable.
Yeah, yeah.
They have to do what they have to do what they got to do.
Yeah,
So, but I
yeah.
didn't want to be in that position.
I've been there. Been there for sure.
Me too. That's what I'm telling you. This is in that moment I was in that position.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why I decided to just, you know what, let's quit. And decided to quit Chipotle. And after that, you remember we started doing, you know, the next hustle. I, you know, bought 2 cars and rented them out to the
Yeah.
Uber, and then we started doing Uber, and that's how, you know, how I started. You know, put myself full time, and those gig. The good thing about the gig jobs is that it allows you to finish your education, to finish, you know, to do, because I was able to work in the morning and go to school at night. And if I had those classes that you have to go in the morning, I work at night and went to school in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I had that flexibility, which I like,
Right.
you know. And during that process, I remember when I left Chipotle, I was focused that I wanted to, you know, I wanted to go to college and get my college degree in business finance. That's what I wanted to do. And then I just kept focused, and then I went for it. And even to this,
How old are you right now?
right now, I'm 30.
No, like I'm sorry.
Oh, at that time, I was what, 20. I was 23, 24,
23,
23, 24, 24, 24. Yeah, between no, 24, 25, around there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I decided, you know, let's just no more fast food restaurant for me. Let's go
24,
into,
no, that
like,
was 25, 26.
It was 25. Yeah,
that was
25,
26.
25, 26. That was like
Yeah,
the same time that we were there. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then that's when, you know, I decided to just let's go.
Mm.
And it was hard to figure out and to make that bold move, because it's like everyone is looking at you, oh, your family, you're making good money, why would you do that?
Right.
Or the pressure of other people is like, oh, you're in a good position,
The
but why were you
safety
doing
net.
the safety net? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I felt that at that moment that I was like, no, I'm not gonna listen to anyone. I'm just gonna listen to my gut, and it is what it is. Whatever happened from, you know, from this point on, anyways, it's my life. Let's see what's happen. Let's see what's gonna happen. So I took the chance.
Took charge.
Yeah, I took the chance, and it has paid off very well. I am glad that I
Yeah,
took
man.
that chance. You know.
Congrats on all your
No,
success.
no, and it's
cool. It's cool stuff.
and then I remember that after you know, after leaving Chipotle, I was focused on getting, you know, getting basically my stuff together, going back to college, paying my credit card debt, because remember, we come from Hispanics family that they do not know how basically credits and the financial, I want to say,
The financial system in
the
America.
financial system in America. Yeah, they don't know how it works.
Yeah.
So it's very hard for a lot of Spanish families to teach their kids how to, like, oh, do not get in debt, be careful, you
Right,
know, all
right.
these things. Or show them.
Right.
So it wasn't none of that. And I remember my mom, she told me that the best way for her, I mean, not for her, but for me to build credit was to get a credit card. And I remember, get a credit card, buy things with your credit card, and then pay the minimum payment. And that's how you're going to build credit, which is not the right way to do it.
Right.
But at that point, I didn't know how
Right.
you know,
right.
what was
you
that.
took her advice. 'Cause-
I took her advice.
but she was misinformed.
Exactly. She was
Yeah.
exactly. So, you know, I ended up, you know, having some debt and stuff like that, but I was able to make it. Because you saw me. I was able to wake up every day to do Uber, go to college, pay for my college, because at that time I remember I needed to pay for it. So I paid. I remember doing my community college.
This is the time where you were like doing Uber aggressively.
Aggressively. You remember.
Yeah.
That was aggressively. So I was paying for my community college at that time.
Yeah.
And then after that, my struggle was like, still like, okay, I finished. And then I finished that journey of like community college. And then I went to a 4-year university. And during that time, I was thinking, okay, what do I want to do? Okay, I got a degree in business management. Do I want to pursue, keep pursuing this? That's when I decided to pursue finance and economics. So I did like a double major there, kind of to have that, be broad. So, and one of my struggle is going through that process. I still was thinking, what do I want to do?
So now, let's say what you were going through that process, right, and career wise and all that. How did that take a toll on the other side of your life? Like, maybe like your love life or
Wow. Yeah, good question. So,
personal.
my personal life. So, I had to make drastic changes. It's like what we were saying earlier. You have to get out of your comfort zone to be able to, grow as a person. I started to stop going out. Some of my good friends that I know, I I didn't stop talking to them because I wanted to stop talking to them. I just needed time for myself. Needed time to like kind of reset and figure out what did I wanted to do. So I stopped even talking to certain people because of that, because I needed to like reset. And it took a toll like with my friends, right? With my family, family wise, I used to like not be present that much because I was working all the time and going to school. So it was kind of difficult. The same thing with my love life at that time. I remember I was with Desiree, and we only used to see each other on the weekends. So I used to bust my
Desert
butt.
is his wife.
My wife, yes. So I used to bust my butt from Monday to Friday to make sure that I have the weekend to do homework and kind of chill with her. And that's how in the way we used to chill was while doing homework. That was our chill spot. We were doing homework together. She was like helping me. Okay, let's just sit down. I was writing an essay, writing paper.
Really?
That was that was our moment. Ordering in, because it was no time to go
Right.
to go out to eat. So we
Right.
would order something and we would eat and just have
Building
fun.
characters. That's cool. That's cute.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
was
cool
it was
story.
yeah it was cool. And then from there, I had some struggles with the people around me sometimes because of that, because I wasn't there, but at the end of the day, I got out of my comfort zone and I was able to make something out of myself, I want to say.
Right. Of
And
course.
then to this day I'm still wondering, like, you know what I'm saying, like I have pretty sure nailed down what do I want to do, but I still wondering in all the different areas, like
what's
okay,
next? Like,
what's next?
What's
Yes,
your,
I'm always
what's your other
asking.
potential?
Exactly.
Like, yeah, because we as human beings, we have too much potential to like narrow it down to just like, okay, I just want to do this one
Exactly. One thing. No,
It's like-
I want to see what am I good at, and that's why I put myself in positions, like I said earlier, uncomfortable position to see if I could excel. For example, this podcast right here, it's one of those areas. Doing this is not in my alley. This is not. I'm not comfortable at public speaking, or I get nervous. But what am I doing? I'm doing it. Right? That's the only way I'm gonna face that fear of public speaking, right? So
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, throughout the story, you told me your story, some of the struggles. Now that we're 30, right, and we still have a lot to learn. Right?
Yes.
Like you have, we're saying this, we're 30, and then you have the 40-year-old people looking at us like, shut up, like you guys are like babies, or
Yeah.
like the 50s, like you guys are like baby, and
Yeah.
but but we are, we did grow up in a different time as well, as people that are older than us, and people that are 40 or 50s. And,
Definitely.
we came from a very interesting actually time, because if you're 30 years old right now, you're coming from the space of like, we're the last generation where we really came from no, internet, no,
Yeah.
no gadgets like these,
Like
right?
these,
like
no.
like devices, like electronics and phones and computers, right? Like iPads, right? Like
Yeah.
that wasn't a thing back then.
No.
And just seeing the whole transformation, like the whole thing happening, it's been pretty amazing. So I feel like, we are in a very interesting spot,
Yeah.
and to have a perspective as well
Mm-hmm.
of of what's next and whatnot. So, what I want to ask you is, how from now until 40, what's your approach?
Wow. Okay. So from now to
At,
40.
from what you know now, from what you
What,
know
so when you
now,
say an approach, you mean like what is my
like,
goal?
yeah, like
It's
what,
kinda like
let's say for
what do I
example,
want to do?
let's say for example, you're in your 30s now.
Mm-hmm.
Now knowing on your 30s what you've learned from your 20s,
Okay.
how you gonna apply that for the
So
next 10 years?
for my next 10 years.
Yeah, like,
Well,
does that make sense?
yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, yeah, I learned a lot from my 20s, right? I learned how I
Like
learned
your
from
approach.
yeah, I learned from a lot of things, the approach that I did. I approached money before a career. I approached spending money the wrong way instead of saving and investing. There was a
Like-
lot of things.
Like, how do you, let's say for example, work, right?
Mhm.
How do you approach work? I remember when we used to work at Chipotle,
Mhm.
we used to take work. Even when we clocked out, we were still working,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Mhm.
it was always work. It was always
Mhm.
about work.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you're 30, how is work for you now? Do you prioritize spending time with
Definitely, I do
with
prioritize spending
desk
time with
over-
my family. Yeah, I do prioritize, but I still have the same mentality a little bit,
Okay.
as we had in our 20s, where it's like even after I clock, I don't physically clock out of my job, but it's like even if I finish work, I'm always thinking of like what is the next move for tomorrow, right? Because I do want to grow in my field.
right?
And I
right,
wanna,
right, right,
and
right.
the only way for you to grow, to be honest, is it's
It
like
is
in anything. It's by
it is
putting
really
putting in the time.
putting in the time when you're not clocking, where
Yeah.
you're not like,
Well, you're not in
yeah,
it.
you're
If you
absolutely
put in the clock, the time when you're not in it, that's when you're gonna succeed. It's like
That,
it's
that's
like,
what's gonna get you noticeably ahead
exactly.
of others. Like,
Look
you-
at LeBron James, right? He practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced a lot. He likes to practice,
Yeah.
even when there's off season. So he's not getting paid for that.
Right. Right.
But when he goes to the court, everyone knows who the fuck LeBron James is, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's how I see it too. So I'm like, okay, I need to get better and practice and keep learning because
That's a good approach.
one
That's
thing that I like about my job is that you always learn. And one thing's of my approach, like you said, one of my approaches in work, I like to learn from others. I like to pick people's brain to kind of see, how they do things at work or how they think, how they, a lot of those things I like to do.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how my approach is at work,
Okay. Okay.
and then so yeah, and even like I was saying earlier, even to today, today I'm still figuring out things that I do want to do. Trust me. I still put myself, like I said, into an uncomfortable situation. I didn't like to read, just like you. But then I started getting into a habit. That in my habit, it started by singling myself out, removing myself
Oh yeah. That's a good
from
one.
crowds, for certain crowds. And I'm not saying it because of a bad thing. No, never.
Yeah.
It's just that I needed that pause.
Right, of course.
Right. I needed to
You
kind of
spend
like
time with yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
to kind of to have that, to discover yourself, to see what you're capable of doing. And even to today, I'm still know what am I capable of doing, but I know that I could, do more than what I'm doing today.
Right. Right. Right.
So I try to keep, one thing that I, to wrap this up, but one thing that I learned is to keep positive people around you. It's very important. My mom used to tell me multiple times, the people you hang out with, it's going to be, show me the people you hang out with, and I'm going to tell you who you are. Right? So my mama always emphasized that you have to surround yourself with positive people. If you surround in a positive circle, you're going to become a positive person. You're going to do positive things. You and your circle is going to think on positive things and how to move forward. But if you don't, you can end up lost, like
Right.
really, really, really lost.
Right. Right. Right.
So yeah.
Let me see. What time is it?
So what about? I think we
No,
have like about 10 more minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay.
10 more minutes of this
Wow.
beautiful. But yeah, man. I mean, it's just
You know, I to me, before, you know how I used to be before too. Like before I was very also like work, 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 and also, and until today, I
Uh
am
huh.
to an extent. I am also, I focus. I still focus. Um, how to get better at work when I'm not at work.
Okay.
Right. I still do that. But I definitely have found such a much healthier balance on in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, and that's also thanks to like all the work that I've like put in on my 20s.
Yeah.
Now that I'm able to just enjoy the fruits
Mm-hmm.
from those labors. So I the way I approach things now, it is definitely more conservative, right? But I know it might sound contradicting a little bit, but I still also like to take risks. I still recognize that I'm at the stage of taking risks.
Yeah.
So I like taking risks, and 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 I just like to always. I'm the type of person who I always like to be by myself, right? And I never really understood why. And it's just like I also get tired of people's presence sometimes,
What do you mean? I mean, it's
like well, not in a bad way, but but sometimes I'm an extrovert,
okay.
like it's just that's what it is, you know because the things that I really like to talk about, I feel like people don't like to um
Dive in into those
or
things.
right, or or maybe I feel that I bore them or whatnot, but I love learning
Mm-hmm.
little things, and and just sharing it with people, and
But that's I think that's nothing wrong with that. It's just that for you when you learn something, it's like anyone who learns something new, you want to share with your with your people, with the people you surround
yeah.
yourself.
uh, I
So I don't think I don't see nothing bad you sharing your stuff and people being like
yeah. Like no, the thing is, like, sometimes people are not interested
interest
in the things that I find
interested.
interested. Yeah. So therefore, it's just like, sometimes I try, but it just
But
doesn't mix. It
mix
just
well.
doesn't mix. Yeah, not
What?
not that it doesn't mix
Oh,
well.
okay.
It's just sometimes in my head I'm like, yo, just shut the fuck up.
Listen, I'm gonna change
Nobody
the subject.
nobody yeah, change the subject. Like, nobody wants to hear this no more.
But no, it's
And then
like
and then I'm just like, and then they talk about sports, like, or people talk about sports, or
yeah,
and I'm not into sports.
exactly.
That's just an example. I'm
You
not
know,
saying anybody in specific.
just yeah, just my advice: learn how to read the room, and then just know that because a lot of people, like you said, into
Yeah, I read
sport.
the room and just leave the room. No, I'm just kidding.
I like
No,
they're like, no, man, I'm just don't you just don't
yeah.
want to mess with them. Yes, that's it.
We're gonna go ahead and wrap up now. Do you?
Man, I mean, so yeah, this is my advice, not advice because I'm not advising everyone. It's just I want people to see, and then kind of like relate to those who also are struggling even to today to figure out what they want to do. Just be patient. Be patient with yourself, like Hector mentioned that before, and have a goal in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And please try new things. Get out of your bubble.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you will figure out other things. You will figure out things that you didn't know you like, and you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
find out like, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
like this. I want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
right? We doing like again, we doing a podcast, right? I'm not I'm afraid of public speaking, but I'm doing it. So this I feel that this is going to help me grow as a person, and I'm going for it. So that's
Right.
my
Right.
my wrap
I'll
up.
say one thing. Make it like a quick to do list, like on an app or something, like a reminder app. Like a to do list of things that you want to do. Like if you want to travel, make a list to travel to.
Mm-hmm.
And then or tasks to get you closer to the little goals. Just make a list. When you find yourself not knowing what to do or wasting time or scrolling, like, look at that list and try to tackle those things. I feel like those little steps get you a long way eventually. So
Yep, I agree.
yeah,
Just remember, get out of your bubble, do all the uncomfortable things that you don't like to do, that you would say is boring, just try them and see if you like them or not. Then you have an opinion to say. Well, guys, this is the episode. This is the wrap up, right?
Yes. Second episode.
Of the second episode. So make sure, guys, you to subscribe and like this video. And if you guys, find it helpful, please leave it on the comment. Let me see what you guys think about. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram. That would be Green Tea Podcast.
Yes, we'll put
Yes,
a link.
sir.
We'll put a link somewhere in the descriptions or
Somewhere around there. I don't know. You name it.
all right.
The editor
guys.
will let you know.
I don't know who that is. All right.
All right, wrap it up.
Peace.
See ya.